Marco Villarreal joins us.
You can tell I don't watch sports.
You can say that too. Like you can tell. Sai doesn't watch sports at all.
They certainly did in that game against the Bruins. They ended up winning, by the way, leading the series 2-1. But people aren't talking about that win. They're talking about what players are doing as they stand up and say enough with police shooting black people in America. Let's talk about that
he
game
said that
last
with
night in
force.
Toronto again. Those players standing up before the puck even dropped, together in support of Jacob Blake and his family.
This isn't about
In the
taking
NBA,
away
the
people's
Milwaukee
gun
Bucks
rights.
telling
It's
officials
about
they would not play their
using
Game
your
5 against the
gun
Magic.
properly.
Other teams in the NBA playoffs
Yeah, he had it.
as well.
What he's
Games
saying
and
doesn't
matches in
answer the fact that
WNBA,
he walked
Major
away. He
League
was
Soccer
17.
and
He's supposed to be
baseball
18 with a
also
gun. So
canceled or
the comments don't
postponed.
answer that at all. You're just saying
Brewers leading
gibberish.
the effort in
Yeah,
the
Answer
baseball
why he had
players
a
say
gun
they wanna
illegally,
see
a
justice for
weapon
Blake,
that powerful
changing how
illegally,
police
so
officers
easily.
are trained,
Yeah, he's not
Answer
even.
that.
how
Yeah,
they
he's not
deal
even
with black
18 years
Americans.
old.
Answer that. Not all the
sitting
other
here
stuff
telling
you're
me
talking
that
about.
there was no way
It's the assault rifle, driving, drunk driving, whatever. We're talking
to
about
do
this guy had a
that
gun he
gentleman.
shouldn't have.
Yeah, and the thing is, when people die in cars and somebody's at fault, they take your driver's license away from you.
And he
They
killed
take
two
away your
people and
driving
he
rights.
walked past cops like nothing happened. But he just got an ice cream cone.
Not only me,
Yeah.
you lying to every African American, every black person in the community, because we see it over and over and over.
And back here in Tampa, no word yet on if the Rays will be playing the Orioles tonight. They did play last night, although I am hearing that the players did have the conversation, should we be playing tonight or not. We'll continue to follow that story and let you know what happens with them. As for the NBA, still a lot of questions there. The Clippers and the Lakers, as teams, have already voted to cancel the rest of the playoffs and the 2020 season, so we'll see what comes out of that. But now others are asking these players, besides just standing up and boycotting these games, to also get more focused on what exactly they want to see from communities, from lawmakers, and from police. That's the latest from out here in downtown Tampa. Reporting live, Marco Villarreal, 8 on your side.
Yeah, it really is. It really is bringing up some really important questions, because the players already did not want to restart the NBA season after George Floyd was murdered in the streets at the hands of a police officer while that police officer was on duty. So I'm not surprised that players are just kind of like, fuck it. But then when you think about it, the players stand to lose a lot of money for not finishing the season. It's the same thing with baseball. One thing that I did find was very interesting is the fact that people are being very critical of the NHL. There are people, there are players in the NHL and former NHL players, some of them Caucasian, some of them minorities, that have been very critical of the NHL in their eyes being last to the party when it comes to standing up for racial justice in this country. We know that the NHL is mostly, it's probably as white as the NFL or the NBA is black, right? But there are NHL players on both sides of the racial aisle, so to speak, that are wondering why the NHL doesn't catch up with the message of, us basically just crying out for justice just like everybody else. Now, personally, I understand that if you see a group of people going through something and you can't relate, it's going to be very difficult for you to get riled up about something like that. So for me, it's kind of like I could see why the NHL wouldn't be so much into
a white kid killed 2 white guys. So at this point, I don't know. I don't know. So
that's a good point, right? Like, I didn't know. I only know about the one long-haired guy that kind of looked like Chris D'Elia that he killed. I didn't know about the other guy.
Heather was white who got ran over at Charlottesville. Like, these are people who are being murdered.
Oh yeah,
by white
yeah.
supremists. So
yeah. And the thing is, like, I
I
had a conversation with a good friend earlier today, and we were talking about the fact that white people are also victims of brutality. And my response to that is, well, then white people should be in the streets marching with us, because when you think about it, it really isn't a partisan issue. It is not a race issue if we have white victims. And one of the saddest things that I find about that is that when white people are murdered in the street while unarmed, it's usually black people that are in the streets marching in their defense. But it's like, well, where is the white outrage when white people are being murdered by the police? So you actually have a better case to say that these police brutality incidents aren't racially motivated. You can at least make that case, but then you got to stand shoulder to shoulder with other people fighting to protect the civil rights of all Americans if we're all being victimized in this way.
Yeah, so I got Phil's got to play this next clip. Like this clip was
Sports players.
Oh God. Phil can play this next clip of like what happened on TNT from the Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah, Charles Barkley probably wasn't a huge fan of this.
That's what makes it so enjoyable. It's amazing. I don't know. This is me. Oh, it's no audio. Oh God.
No, we need the audio.
But it's just the.
But what he does, the actions that he makes.
Yeah, because he's not even off mic. He's off
impactful.
mic after a while. He can't even hear what he's saying after a while. He just like gets up and walks off.
I would love to see if we could get the audio for that. If we have to pull it from another source or whatever. But basically,
here it is.
There we go.
Talking. And for me, I think the biggest thing now is to kind of, as a black man, as a former player, I think it's best for me to support the players and just not be here tonight. And figure out what happens after that. I just don't feel equipped.
Well, I'm gonna get up to.
Holy shit! Dude, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready, man.
But I kind of cried when I saw it. Dead ass when I saw it last night, though. It was crazy to see it.
Yeah, these are some really poignant moments emotionally. Because you the thing is that you're finally starting to see.
I think it's best for me to support the players and just not be here tonight. And figure out what happens after that. I just don't feel equipped to do that.
You can kind of hear what he's saying too.
Off mic.
Yep. Now, if you take a look at the far left and the far right, look at Charles. Look at Charles. He's taking that sip, right?
Yeah, Charles Barkley.
Now, if you look at Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, I want you guys to understand something. They've been going at odds since they were both still in the league, right? Now, understand, look at the blank look on Shaquille's face.
Yeah.
And look at the grabbing of the coffee cup by Charles Barkley. And what you're seeing.
I wish he had like a marker to mark this down like a sports.
Right, like a telestrator, right? Right. Now, I want you guys to see. Please go back to that still. Please go back to that still, please, because I really want people to understand what they're seeing.
No, I think we lost it.
We lost it. Yeah, I just want to capture that. So I just want you to hold that picture right there, right? Charles had his coffee cup in hand. Shaquille has his hands clasped.
Yeah, like
he is the good student. Like he's a good student in the class. Somebody just got kicked out of the class, right? And he's like, "Yo, I'm a good boy. I'm not going to say anything." Yeah. What you're looking at are two men who have endorsements everywhere. Charles Barkley has, let's say, been very contrarian when it comes to the plight of black people.
He's been saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah, he's been the contrarian.
I remember.
And Shaquille O'Neal has the reaction of someone who wants to be a billionaire, like Michael Jordan. Yeah. And how did Michael Jordan get to be a billionaire? Well, Republicans buy sneakers too.
Yeah.
Right. So, but on the other side of that.
But he's not benevolent. He's not benevolent. Like, I don't know, in the sense of like Charles Barkley says things as like kind of, why are you saying that? Because compared to Shaq is just in his lane making money. I don't know. It's just a different capitalist.
But again, if a person is not built to be an activist, like me, I'm not built to be an activist. Messiah is, Dr. Evil isn't, right? Yeah. I said, but I will still speak up for what I believe in.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Shaquille O'Neal,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's an honorary member of law enforcement. So you also have to, look at the fact that he may be siding with with the blue race,
Yeah.
not necessarily the black race. But what you're looking at is one guy, and the thing is, Kenny Smith, he does have endorsements.
Yeah.
But he's making it very clear that it is very taxing. It is very emotionally taxing to watch people that look like you get gunned down in the street when they're not a threat really to anybody over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, and then people standing up for you getting gunned down the streets. That's
And then people are making excuses for why this unarmed person or this non-threatening person was killed. I just saw a video earlier today of a white police officer fighting some tall, fucking huge white guy trying to arrest him in a supermarket, and the guy that he's wrestling with was twice his size and had him in a headlock.
Yeah,
and the officer never once thought about pulling his weapon, and he was trying to de-escalate the situation like we believe cops are tasked with doing. And he went through all of this with a guy that was not complying, because we hear this all the time. Well, he'd be alive today if he complied. Well, we see video of white people not complying all the time.
Waving the knives around, like dancing with knives.
Shooting at the police.
Yeah.
Like literally shooting at the police. Grabbing their weapons, or I saw even one vehicle, one white guy stole the police car and drove off on them. Like he was like beating them with their nightstick to try to get away from them. It was obvious that he wasn't trying to harm the police, right? It was obvious like he wasn't trying. He was just trying to get away.
Dude, I saw a video, a Detroit video. I was gonna actually play it tonight, but we've saved it for another night, maybe one day. But it's a Detroit video of a Detroit sheriff pulling over a white guy in a fake police car, like a full-out Ford Explorer with sirens, with like the police radio stuff. It was total fake. He pulls this guy over. This is like the most scariest, spookiest thing that can happen as a cop. He pulls him over and have like a conversation with him like he's a friend and stuff like that. Imagine if you're a fake black cop like that, and a white cop pulls over a fake black cop. What do you think is going to happen in that situation? For some reason,
hail of bullets, son.
Yeah, this is like a Good Morning America kind of segment.